Hello and welcome to the Sorare Lounge, hosted by the Sorare Thursday Club, Santé. I am your host, Ricky, aka the Sorare Mamba, and I'm joined, as always, by my glamorous co-host, Play Sharper Everton expert and duck lover, Johnny, aka Dornado. Ruled out of last week's podcast on medical terms. How are you this evening?
Well, still a bit ropey over here, but significantly better than I was last week. So, excited to talk a little bit of Sorare crap.
Yeah, after we've had a week off, it always feels like there's loads to talk about. But good start. Pedri an assist for my team. So, start on the front foot. Yeah, we've got MLS back this weekend. The GOAT of the Sorare leagues. I've got the LAFC top back on. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. What have we got for you today? Got a bit of five and kick in, latest Sorare Gossip, got some prize openings. Then we got the big stuff, the MLS predictions and a little bit of a preview. We've got the Keeper Club, see if anyone's joined this week. And then we've got the Premier League preview. I think that'll be more than enough. But as always, we've got a lot to get onto, so I'm going to press us through today, keep us on the short and narrow. But we always warm up with quick fire questions, five and kicking, to get your brain purring. So let me hit you some random questions today.
Okay, let's have it.
First off, what's the best sandwich filling?
Sandwich filling. That's interesting. I do like a brie and cranberry. If I'm going for like a brie, bacon and cranberry, just a sort of a nice savoury option there. I think that's really good. But if I'm going to Subway, I have an Italian BMT usually. That's my go-to.
Bacon, brie, and cranberry, getting all the major groups in there. Cheese, fruit, and meat. I like it. All right, fair enough. I do like a nice meat mix, mega meat mix. Chuck it all in there. But if I'm going basic, I think just like a tuna mayo. Happy days.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with a bit of tuna mayo in a nice baguette. Happy days. All right. Snog, marry, kill. MLS, J League, and K League.
Oh, Snog.
The returning leagues.
Snog, marry, kill. I think you got to kill the Korean League, right? It already suffered greatly from the Opta issue last year. So if we're going to choose one to kill, it's got to be them. Sorry, Koreans. J League and MLS. Now, I think I have a bit of a penchant for both leagues, really. It's very difficult to decide. I'd say if I was going to have a one-night fling, i.e. a snog, I'd probably go for the J League, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Just because it's a little bit naughty, isn't it? A little bit naughty.
Yeah.
And then I'd marry the MLS just because, it's great. It's on at perfect time. It's in English, so you can understand what's going on. You can understand the team news. But yeah, that's my options there.
Oh, very nice. So killing the K League, marrying the MLS, and snogging the J League.
I don't want the K League to die. Maybe just like break their arm or something.
No, that's the game. Unfortunately, you've sent them to perish forever.
Okay,
and that was on you. I'd also marry the MLS. I could see myself having a long-term relationship and just settling down with it. The nice big Apple TV presentation on every night.
Maximum creperie,
maximum creperie in nets. Yeah, what could go wrong all day? Marrying the MLS. Now there's full coverage. I'd probably snog the K League, and then J League's caused me a lot of hurt over the years. And my Constantine boys, which I was really repping, have just been torn up and separated all over the place. My three favorite Constantine players don't even play for Constantine anymore. So, I think I could get rid of it. But we could all agree, of the three returning leagues, MLS is the one.
Definitely. I'm excited for it to get going tonight.
I do have from the J League, all your players, like my players are just at different clubs. So I was looking to set my teams this weekend, and they were just not at the teams that I thought they were at last time I saw them. They're now a completely different team.
I suddenly support Silvestre Osaka. I think three of my players have joined them over the summer, so they're now my boys.
I think hasn't Ogashiwa gone there as well?
I think Ogashiwa went there. Obviously, Lucas Fernandez went there. Nobrazato went there from Kawasaki Frontale, the left back.
Oh no, Ogashi was at Tokyo.
Tokyo. And Thingamajig went to Tokyo as well. Araki, is it Araki? I think it was Tokyo.
See, this is the problem when we start doing the J League, K League, and MLS start weekend. We're always that open. You said it before we start. We're always open to that crap knowledge that we've got wrong. There's so much going on in these three leagues. But yeah, Araki is now at Tokyo. Yeah, you were correct. Yes. Bonus point. Next question. Who would you like to play you in a movie about your life?
It has to be a very cheap actor to be happy playing my life. I mean, you've got. Does it have to be an actor?
Well, it would make sense for the question.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh God, this is a tricky one. Play me. I mean, my favourite actor is Tom Hanks, so I'm just going to say Tom Hanks. But I mean, that's fucking ridiculous. And also, his body shape has kind of like done the same as what mine has over the years. He was quite thin and slender, and as he's got older, he's just become fat. So, if you're watching Tom, apologies for insulting your body weight there. But yeah, I'm going to go for Tom Hanks.
Okay, so Tom Hanks to play you. With all your digital JPEGs and collection of signed shirts, I'm sure Tom would fit right in. Right. Favorite J League team and why?
Oh, Christ. J League teams. You know, it always used to be Kawasaki Frontale. They were the first team that when I first started buying J League players, I bought a few of their players. Obviously, I had Matoma when he was at Kawasaki Frontale. It turned out they were also the best team in the league.
I was about to say glory hunting. Is this what?
Yeah, I mean they weren't so good last year. So it's not so much glory hunting now. But I do still have Wakizaka from there. I did have Nobrazato and Miyashiro. Both of those have left now this season. I'll say Kawasaki Frontale, but keen eye on Seveso Osaka now that most of my players have joined there. Okay.
Glory hunting. I suppose you need to do the exact opposite of what you do in the Premier League as an Everton fan. So exactly. That makes sense. And finally, would you rather live in a tree house or in a cave?
Tree house. Always wanted a tree house when I was growing up.
There you go. We got to the last question. You finally quick-fired one. There we go. Tree house.
You ask me hard questions. What am I supposed to say?
I'm not sure what's your favourite sandwich. The question, but we've done it. There we go. I feel like we know you a bit better now, and you've loosened up. Apart from your throat, still finds quite throaty. But we'll move on. At this point, I like to slot in our plea for fans before we get really stuck in. So here we go. Thanks to anyone who's joining us now or watching and listening afterwards. Please like and subscribe and all that vibe. It's much appreciated by all of us here at the Sorare Thursday Club. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
So beautiful and professional, Rick. It's like you've got it written right in front of you there. It's amazing.
Yeah. Now we'll do a bit of Sorare Gossip. You'd think we missed quite a lot over the last couple of weeks, but we did do a show on the roadmap, and that was like so much talk and information, and not really too much has gone down since then, has it? They did just drop a pitch note on us just before we came to screen. There's not a lot really in here.
It's not much going on in it really, is there? I don't think.
I did like the top bit though. Never miss an auction again. You'll soon be able to set reminders on ongoing auctions on web and Android devices, so you can track your auctions in My Auctions and receive timely notifications before an auction ends. That'd be quite cool because I have like my favorited players, and then you sort of see your favorite players, which ones are coming up soon. But I would like some form of like bell alert to say that Mikolenko that you're bidding on ends in 5 minutes.
I swear they've said this before though. I've heard them say this before. I swear on a different announcement. I mean, how it's taken this long for them to put in some sort of bell for when an auction's about to come to an end is a little bit strange to me.
But I think it's on web and Android devices. So yeah, maybe it works on the apps as well, which would be good. But yeah, I just think it'd be nice because I've constantly got my favourites list and I load it up in the morning, say, oh, there's a few guys that I'm interested in, and when they're going to end, and I try to remember when they're going to end. Doesn't quite work for me. I'd like a better system. That's what I was trying to get at. Okay. And the only other thing that I really took from this is that MLS new season is about to start. Please note that the MLS specific competitions will open once the new season cards are launched, which will happen soon. Because there has been a lot of chat, isn't there, about the new season cards. When do the comps open? How soon will we have the cards? When it gets to August, especially like the Premier League, the La Liga, the Bundesliga ones. We had a little bit of controversy over the South American ones, didn't we? The Palmeiras cards haven't been out long and they're already old season, won't be any good for the new comps, things like that. So
I think someone was saying they got one game from Palmeiras as new season cards, and then that's a winter break or whatever they did. But yeah, I mean, I can see why people get a bit pissy with that type of thing. But
yeah, I guess they wanted a clean break in this new structure, but they should have just communicated it a bit better. So we're not going to have the new MLS competitions, looks like, for opening weekend. It's too late now. That's fine for me. I think personally I've got so many old season cards across the different scarcities. I was planning on just focusing on the old season, the classic MLS comps anyway. But yeah, it says which will happen soon for the new cards. So I hope it is shortly. I guess it is hard waiting for rosters to get finalised and then they have all the images sent through that they need, then make them into cards, then get them signed off, then get it all uploaded and scheduled and done. I guess that's quite a tight turnaround for them. But, you'd hope that we're not going to miss too many games before we have the cards.
I'm excited to see what they might come up with terms of pattern on the new cards. Obviously, there'll be 3D cards, which will be cool. All the other new season cards for Europe tend to all look pretty similar, don't they? But I wonder if they'll do something a bit different with MLS just because, they've got the whole league covered. It's one of their sort of founding leagues. Obviously, we've seen the NBA cards that they released recently that looks a bit funky. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what they'll look like.
I'm excited to see a Jackson Yueill in 3D, baby. Spinning around. Get out here.
Oh, goodness. So
I'm excited. Yeah. And I have been trying to sell off a few pieces so I can maybe get a little collection going of one team as well. I cannot decide what team I want, but I have narrowed it down to the last few options. So we'll see.
Which are?
I'm not going to share. I don't want someone to start coming in on me. I've already seen like a couple of big content creators and stuff and big collection guys who are like, right, no one come for my Orlando collection. I'm going for all the ones, and I was like, well, you've got I'm not going to mess with you. We'll strike them off the list. We're down to 3, but we'll see when they come up. Maybe I'll just need to see those cards and see what I feel when I see the cards for the first time.
Okay. All
right, on to other things that have been happening. We're into that new temporary era of thresholds before they're gone forever, where you pick your poison. Do you want to go low, medium, or high? What do you think? What's your tactic been so far? I mean, obviously, I think we can both agree it's not as good as before. Yeah, it'd be great if you could smash the high points one in, but it's not going to happen. It is like a temporary fix, isn't it? Just to give you a hit before they get rid of it completely. But what's your tactic been?
Well, I like to go straight down the middle and aim for the 340s, thinking, that's not too difficult. I mean, it depends on what my fixture's looking like for the week. The weekend just gone, I hated a lot of my fixtures. So for some reason, I still went for 340. I should have probably gone for 2. It's 270 now, isn't it? The lower end.
Yeah.
I went for 340 the weekend just gone and got 288. So would have got the lower band if I'd gone for it. Wasn't helped by my captain playing on Friday night and starting on the bench, so that basically killed me off there. But yeah, it's not as good, is it, as the normal threshold? I've seen a bit of bounce back on Twitter, isn't there, with that guy that said about if you're going for $2 with your limited one, then fucking what you're doing or some shit. I don't know what he's saying, and people were kicking off about it, and then I think it was Hoodwink looked up that guy's last 30 efforts at Cat 240 Limited, and he hadn't got 340 once. or something. It was quite funny. But
I'm a big fan of Hoodwink on Twitter. Makes me laugh a lot.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, it's interesting. It's obviously not gonna go beyond August, so it's a bit of a temporary thing, isn't it? But
I mean, I don't find it that interesting. It's no longer a priority for me.
No, I think I'm gonna end up just putting in the lower. Actually, moving forward, like when it came out, I was like, right, I'll just go straight down the middle every time. Try and get $80 because that's really good. Like that's better than 4 lots of 15, but it might prove quite difficult to get 340. I don't know, and maybe I should just be banking $15 every week.
It definitely depends on your gallery size, right? The person that said, "Oh, you should never go for $2 if you blah blah blah," but you're still playing for cards technically, aren't you? And if you can pick up a $2 while you say if you fail, just fail short of cards. If you've only got 50 quid in there and you're getting a couple of quid back, it's not an awful return on investment, is it?
You can get a good limited card for £2 these days.
Exactly.
Like, you get like a tier 3, tier 2 card, especially from sort of some of the leagues like J League and K League, where they've not got the big names, but actually scores wise, they're still hitting those good scores.
Because I went for low on rare because I've not been very good at rare lately in terms of hitting the threshold. So I went low and we got 308. So I think that's the sweet spot, isn't it? It's hitting your threshold without going over the next one and then cussing yourself off. So a solid 308, to win 0.005. It's not like killer exciting anymore, but it's nice because you're still attacking a card. I had 2 players left and I had a reasonably good start from McNeil and someone else. So I was like, I could get a card, but if I don't get a card, at least I get, a tenner. Limited.
We had a mate of ours, didn't we, who went for, I think 340 or 270, and he got 389, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he was actually quite glad to not get 390 because he would have been gutted to not have gone for that top one. I don't think many people are ever going to go for that top end one. I just think that's a very high score to get in a Cap 240 competition.
I agree with you. It's really high. I don't have the balls to do it. I feel like I need like a cheat code card at 0 and then something else really good in the team as well. But
you've got Dwight McNeil, so he's basically a cheat code, isn't he?
Exactly. We got Dwight McNeil. I've gone for a midweek one as well with the Super Res. Super Res are back with my MLS players back in. I finally got a goalie back. So I've gone for the lowest one in this as well, just because I'd be able to hit that lower threshold in Super Res. With limited options in it. But when I get down to limited, I'm going for the middle one, I think, every time.
It's a good start for Super Rare there, those two.
Yeah, not bad. Steve Clark back in the game. So
what's the lower band for? I presume it's the same score in terms of 270, but
it's 320 in.
Oh, it's 320, is it? Okay. And what's the payment for that?
That's a good question, actually. That's a very good question. What is the payment for it? I'm not sure. I think it's lower than the top tier in rare. I know that for sure, which seems a bit odd.
Yeah, that is a bit odd. How can I look that up? You carry on talking, I'll look that up whilst we're... And that's in Cap 240 Super Rare, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of options back. That's the good thing about MLS. I feel like my gallery's just really swelled back out now, and I've got so many more options again. So I am excited for this weekend. So many teams to say. It is my birthday tomorrow, and then I've got Friday off work, and I'm going to have like a mega amount of teams to set again, and I'm already like sweating at the prospect of having to do it all. That last minute panic coming in.
$60 the lower, that's lower than the middle of rare. That's
that's it. Seems weird, doesn't it?
You don't fancy going for $460, mate, for $1,000?
I definitely do not have the cards. I am starting to build my Super Rares back out, and I've got some nice cards coming back this weekend. I can enter a few Super Rare teams again, but I don't think I got the striking options to really make a dent at the moment. But this is midweek. We had the heartbreak of Kevin De Bruyne last night, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of KDB sob stories on Twitter from the last 24 hours.
343.
Yeah, that's a killer. I mean, I guess it's the risk you take having running a Man City stack, right? I mean, it's very unlikely you're ever going to get, 5 guaranteed starters at any point. So
yeah, that's why we group it all together. We got this lovely looking MLS. That's absolute studs there. I just love running those cards back out. Diaz, I think he's actually scored. So
yeah, he's definitely scored.
This probably needs refreshing because I set this up a while ago. Diaz, yeah, decent in there. Small chance for that as well.
Got FI legend Sam Surridge in the same team there as well.
FI legend Sam Surridge. While I'm here, should we open some prizes?
Yes, let's see it. Let's see you've got. I'll do some totting up of values whilst you're opening.
Opening some prizes. The exciting bits. I haven't had any big wins really, but there's a lot of middling cards in here. So we go back a few game weeks, but let's have a look at the Tier 5 from Challenger Europe Limited. Tier 5.
Defender from Austria, I reckon. Oh.
English defender.
St. Johnston.
Uladari Olafunwa.
Oh, yeah, I know him well.
St. Johnson.
He is worth 50p.
Yep.
And his scores are absolutely horrific. 17 DMP, 37, 38, DMP, 25, 35, DMP, 51, and then 10 DMPs in a row. Excellent.
Well, that's exciting. Let's go for another Tier 5. This one's in rare from game week 451 in Cap 220. A Tier 5 from Cap 220. This is going to be exciting, right?
Horrific.
Spanish defender from Osasuna.
A tenner.
Cadena.
Hopefully it'll be worth a tenner.
I would be very happy if he's worth a tenner.
He is worth a fiver.
Oh, half a tenner.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to get some sleep by the looks of those eyes. He's got some
knackered, doesn't he, poor bloke?
Serious bags under his eyes. Worth a fiver. Got a couple of green scores in the last sort of 20-ish games, but mostly just shit, yeah.
Well, we have got two Tier 4s, All-Star Limited from game week 450, coming 928th. In All-Star, Croatian defender.
Oh, Union. Oh, yeah, I know him. Ex-Celtic.
Juranovic.
Yes, I think that's not too bad, you know. Ex-Celtic lad. I'm pretty sure he starts for Croatia as well, if I'm not mistaken. He's worth 90p.
Yes.
And he's been injured by the looks of it for last month, but he came back in the last game off the bench and got a solid 9 minutes. But the 2 games before he got injured, he got 35 AA and 30 AA.
All right. Did you say it was 90p?
Yep.
Cash that. All right. Tier 4 from All-Star Limited in game week 449 for coming 1700th. Let's get this hype train rolling. Another defender. You know it.
You fucking know it.
Marcus Lopez, Peruvian from Feyenoord.
And a hint. Marcus Lopez. 40p.
40p.
Oh, he's got the same birthday as me, so that's quite nice.
Oh, cute.
He's exactly 10 years younger than me, which
makes you feel old.
Makes you feel old. Yeah, some horrific scores there. Really, really bad.
Okay, 4 defenders in, 3 cards left. Game week 451, 906 in All-Star Limited.
So we're hitting Tier 3s now, is that right?
Yeah, Tier 3. Forward!
Oh, hello. Kawasaki. Oh, I own him. He's just dislocated his shoulder. He's out for like months. So maybe we'll be able to swap him. Although, was that this game week? I don't know.
Yeah, 451.
It's worth £1.60 apparently, which is not too bad, but he's really not that good. He's got an acromyoclavicular joint dislocation. Return unknown.
Oh, I love that.
And actually, he's not got good scores at all. So I don't know why he's worth £1.50. I'll just cash him in, mate.
So he's shit, not worth a lot, and long-term injured.
Yeah, and he's got the same hair as me.
He's got the same hair as you. 2 left.
Yeah.
Let's go for the Legends Challenge Tier 3 Limited. 52nd place in game week 449.
Could be good. That's reasonably high.
Turkish.
Oh, your favourite
midfielder from Trabzonspor.
Oh,
Berat Özdemir.
He's obviously got the same hairdresser as you, mate. Berat Özdemir. He's got some sweet tat on his neck. £1.38. It's got pretty good. Last 5 is 58. It's got 81, 47, 64, 62, 76 in his last 5 games. Pretty good. I think he's a CDM by the looks of it. He potentially made the squad for Turkey in the last year, in the last qualifiers, but didn't come on. So,
okay, right. One last shot at redemption. 116th place in Cap 270 rare in game week 449. Tier 3. Swedish defender, Celtic. Gustav Lagerbielke.
Interesting. Always nice. I kind of feel it's always nice to get a Celtic player. You're going to love how much he's worth, mate. £5. That is a joke. He was born in 2000.
He's got quite a large head compared to the size of his body.
He's only got 8 scores on Sorare historically. He got an 85 for Celtic, and then a 40 in the league for Celtic. So, I mean,
so what you're saying is this isn't the most exciting set of prizes anyone's ever opened.
That set of prizes is worth about £11 total. It's embarrassingly bad.
Okay.
That's worth the same as what a sort of tier 4 limited was worth about a year ago.
That's really, really painful. Do you reckon I can say it with an NBA reward?
Probably.
Tier 5, tier 4 NBA, they're going to be worth a lot, right?
What's the one on the end?
Oh, you've not seen one of these? This is 79p market credit.
Oh, my. Mate, you are absolutely milking it in tonight, aren't you?
All right, let's have a look at the NBA players. Oh, I'm collecting an Orlando new season collection. So Jonathan Isaac, I am happy with that. Nice. That fits right into the list of things I'm after. From the Rockets forward, Jeff Green. There you go. That's collectively probably £1.50 as well added to the pool. But speaking of...
Join us next week for more absolutely awful prizes.
Yeah. Sorry that I made you all watch that. But speaking of making money from Sorare, if you haven't seen Stark, STRK, I don't know how we're saying it.
I think so.
If you've been on Sorare since pre-June 1st, 2022, you should go and check this out on Sorare's blog, sorare.com/blog, and read up on this and see if you're eligible. It's a thing everyone on X has been going on about for the last day. You get 111 of these Stark tokens, and then you can either cash them out, keep them, do whatever you want with them. At one stage yesterday, they were worth about 250 quid, weren't they? People were getting for it. But you should go and check it out. Did you do yours?
I did do mine. I went through the sort of 48-step process to get it. And that was without even sort of trying to transfer it to Ethereum. But yeah, I mean, I eventually got it. It took a couple of hours of in the queue. But yeah, I mean, can't complain too much. It's free crypto. I think is worth a little bit less than what you said now. Just as the initial sort of bunch of people all cash theirs in, I think it's probably going to take a bit of a hit and then hopefully steady up a little bit.
Yeah, it dropped down to about 180 earlier on today. It's now back up to 197. So I've still got mine in there mainly because I was busy and I could be bothered to figure out how to get it out. There's lots of guides on there. If you go on X, there's loads of people's guides floating around on how to.
And it's good. I think a lot of people, see this and think skeptically about it, as I did, as you probably did. until Sorare retweeted it and said, this is legit. And then, you've actually seen people tweeting, here's my ETH that's gone in, here's what I've bought. Like when you're actually seeing the fact that they've got this basically for free and used it, like it makes you realize it's legit. I like their, looks like Colgate. Is it Aquafresh, their symbol there?
Aquafresh token, yeah. It's a fun little benefit, isn't it, for being a long-term Sorare lover. Lots of people just took that 200 quid out, chucked 150, whatever they could get, chucked it in Sorare and bought some players with it. So it's good for our ecosystem. It did prove how little knowledge of crypto all of us playing this crypto game have actually got. No one knew what the fuck they were doing, how to do everything, how to do anything, and we're playing a game that was built as a crypto game. So yeah, it was funny, but hopefully, yeah, worth a little bit. I'd like it to go up a little bit. I'm just going to hold it for a little while, but yeah, it's good seeing people chuck the money into Sorare and buy some players with it. So yeah, all good. But if you haven't done it yet, go and check if you're eligible. Free money. Who doesn't like it?
And if you're looking for a sort of easy way to go through the process, then go on to Spicer on Twitter. That's what we both use, isn't it? He did a nice little link to a how-to guide, which it takes a long time, but it's very clear, very precise, and it's easy to use.
Yeah, go and check Spicer out. If you want to know where the guide is. Right, we're half an hour in. We should probably move on to the main topic of this podcast. Team America. Fuck yeah. The MLS is back. It is my favorite league. I don't know about you, but I absolutely love it. It's the first league that I got into on Sorare properly. It's the first one that I started winning prizes in. You could run like a 4-man team and you finish quite high back in the day. It was glorious. I loved it. So I am absolutely buzzing for it to be back. It unlocks loads of cards for me as well, which I mentioned, which is the best thing. So I got teams left, right, and center coming out. I got my San Jose stack back, my boy Jackson Yueill. I'm excited. You love the MLS?
Mate, I love the MLS. I did have a very brief sort of week period. I don't know if you remember. It was probably about a month after we started Sorare, and I was like, fuck the MLS. I'm not doing this crap anymore. I'm fuming with it. I got really annoyed, sold all my MLS players. And then within about a week, I got jealous and bought loads more again. So I had a brief fallout with MLS, but other than that, it's been a glorious relationship. Very much enjoy the fact that the games are on at watchable-ish times when you have a baby, i.e. sort of 11 p.m, midnight. Obviously, love my Columbus Crew boys. Left a little bit brokenhearted from Lucas Zellaran leaving last year, but still got enough of the players to, follow them well. And obviously, they won last year, so big team. But yeah, no, excited to have them back. Let's go.
All right. So we're gonna run through some predictions, previews. So we're gonna pick the topics of who such as MLS Cup winner. Most improved, under 23 hotshot, that type of thing, and we're going to pick one in each category, or two if we've got more ideas. Sort of talk through it that way. So yeah, the people's predictions. Sorare Thursday Club predicts the MLS 2024, and we will start out at the very top with the MLS Cup winner 2024. I will hand over to you first. Who's going to win it this year?
I mean, I don't want to be boring because it might be a bit boring.
So what sounds like you're about to be boring, though?
I might be a bit boring, but how can you look past a team that has Lionel Messi, and they've just bought Suarez as well? They're just getting the band back together, aren't they? I think they are going to have to make a couple of sales, aren't they? So I think their salary cap is potentially pushing the limit a little bit. But yeah, I think Inter Miami are going to be a very hard team to beat.
Yeah, I did think it was in the league. We'll give them every chance to balance out, and up till the game kicks off. We'll let them we'll let them work out. It's
definitely a bit dodgy, isn't it? I mean, I think they've been a bit lenient in the fact that Messi's come in and increased MLS's entire sort of windfall by billions of pounds. So they're like, let's just let them have a bit of leeway. But yeah, it doesn't quite seem fair, does it? But yeah, I mean, their team is aging, but incredible. So I'm going to go for them.
They got Grosslin as well, didn't they? They just bought that other Argentinian wonder kid in as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got straight down the boring into Miami.
A little bit. I mean, you've got Crew as well, obviously. But yeah, getting into Miami.
All right, I'm going to go, into Miami, the obvious one. I've tried to steer away from just picking Messi and into Miami throughout this, but I like Crew and LAFC as well. Finalists last year, I think they should be back again. I'm tempted to give a shout and go for Kansas City as well. I think they'll do really well this year, but I'm going to go different. I'm going to go for Orlando.
A little bit rogue.
Finished strongly. I think they finished second in the conference last year behind Cincinnati. So good season last year. I think they've made some good additions. I think their kit's really nice as well. It's important. And yeah, I think they'll do really well. Maybe they're more of like a win at the Supporters Cup, the Supporters Shield, like a great regular season. Maybe they get found out in the playoffs. But yeah, I like it. Murillo up top. They still got Torres, haven't they? I think they've got Ladero in. Don't mind the back line. Keeper's good. Yeah, maybe they'll just be more of a Supporters Shield and they'll fall apart in the playoffs against someone like Miami who can rally late. But I'm going to go with Orlando to be different.
Nice.
Let's go for the worst record. Who's going to be the worst team in MLS?
I mean, Los Angeles Galaxy, LA Galaxy, were really bad last year. I just think they're just not very good. I mean, are they going to be that much better this year? I'm not sure. They could be down there again. You've also got teams like Toronto. Lots of things went wrong at Toronto last year, but they have sort of still got a couple of big name players there. I don't know whether they'll sort of come good this year. I'm unsure, but yeah, I'll go for LA Galaxy as the worst team.
Really? I've seen like a lot of different opinions there. Some putting them like 12th, 13th in the conference. Some putting them as high as like 4th. I think they'd be quite good.
Well, they're big name, aren't they? I mean, when you think of when MLS sort of first came on the scene, LA Galaxy was the team that I remember being the team with Beckham, obviously, Landon Donovan, who was last time was there for a bit, wasn't he, as well? But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think they're just getting completely overtaken by LAFC, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, they got Peck, Ricky Puig, Pantsil. If Brugman's, he's back. I don't know.
They had them last year as well.
Well, Brugman got injured, didn't he? They didn't have Pantsil. He's new. I don't know. We'll see. I think they could do all right. Mine is going to be shout out Royal Ivy, Austin FC. Ivy, you and your Austin stack are going back in the bin. I think Austin are going to be complete crap. A lot of hate for my San Jose Earthquakes as well, putting them down the bottom, but I'm going to have none of that on this show. Earthquakes forever. Austin FC. I think the Western Conference is by far the weaker one as well, and I think Austin are going to be bottom of it. So, I think that does make them shite. They were the first team I ever tried to build a stack of on Sorare back in the day, so they were a little. They had a little bit of love from me, but not anymore. I think they're in the bin. Okay, so then let's move on to most improved team for 2024. Any shouts?
I'm going to go for Portland Timbers. Struggled a little bit last year, finished down the bottom of the Western Conference. Obviously, they've made a couple of signings, mainly our boy Maximum Creperie, so hopefully that will make him a bit stronger at the back. They've signed a winger called Anthony, maybe better than the Man United Anthony, potentially.
Wouldn't take a lot.
It wouldn't take a lot. Yeah, they've signed this guy Anthony from Portugal, who's supposed to be quite good. They've obviously still got Evander. I think they're going to do better this year. I'm not, no pun intended, not thinking they're going to pull up many trees. But I think they'll do better.
It's going down, but not the Timbers.
That's right.
That was really bad. I was going to say LA Galaxy, who you just said would be really crap. I was going to say that they might be the most improved team. I don't think they're going to win anything, but they were really crap last year. And in a flaky Western Conference, I could see them moving up from right at the bottom to nearer the middle, nearer the top half. So maybe, improved in that way. But if I was going for someone improved to go all the way to the very top, I'd probably go Sporting Kansas City. I think I mentioned them earlier. I don't think they're like the most sexy team to pick, are they? No one's like, oh yeah, Kansas City's all about Mahomes. That's you want the American football side of it. But I think their front three, like Pulido, looked good last year. Saloy and Russell just seems to keep going forever.
I was going to say if they still got Pulido. I know he was on fire for about 2 months, wasn't he, last season?
The best card on the game for a while.
Yeah.
But Tim Melly, I still pulling up trees and goal. So I think they could do really well as well as like an unsexy pick. So Kansas City all the way and LA Galaxy to go from bottom to mid would be my shouts. Nice. Let's go on to an individual awards. MVP, league MVP. I wish there was an MVP I wish it's called that in the Premier League, like Scott McTominay, MVP of the Premier League.
That's not going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to go for who I think is probably the best player in the MLS, apart from Messi, etc. I'm going to go for Thiago Almada at Atlanta. Extremely good player. Got touted with a move to Europe, didn't he? A lot this off-season, but didn't really happen. I think there are still some rumours flying about, so I could be made to rue choosing him when he's not actually playing the MLS in a couple of weeks. But I think Atlanta will do well. I think he's obviously an incredibly good player. Another player I potentially thought about was Kuche. I think he's obviously a very good player as well for Columbus Crew. But I'm going to go for Thiago Almada.
Yeah, I thought about Atlanta for a lot of things as well, in a lot of different categories. I think they'll be pretty good as a team. Obviously, will he stay there? But he's elite in this league. I actually also went for an Atlanta player, but I went for a different one. I went for Giacomakis. Is that how you say it?
I think it's
Giacomakis.
Giacomakis, I think it is. But I might be wrong.
I'll call him Gigi. Gigi, I think they could have a really good season. Towards the top of a tough Eastern Conference. So, in that sense, if they're going to have a good season, I think their main striker, who's one of their better players, is going to score a load of goals. And you know what makes fans happy? You know what impresses judges for MVP awards? Goals, mate. Good season last year. I think he's going to have another great season. I think he's going to pile them in. And I think that heavy goal ratio and excellent performances, game in, game out, are going to upset Lionel Messi and get him the MVP award.
I like it.
Boom. Let's go on to U23 Hotshot. Give me a startlingly exciting under-23 player that you think will have a great season.
Well, I'm going to be a little bit boring again, I last year said this guy, my sort of guy to potentially break out a little bit last year. I think he'd almost already broken out, to be honest with you. But I'm going to go for Aidan Morris, Columbus Crew.
Yeah.
Extremely solid player. I'm slightly worried he's not under 23, actually. I'm just looking that up. Pretty sure he's still under 23. My internet is not working. Aidan Morris, I think he's an incredibly good box-to-box midfielder for Columbus Crew. getting a lot of action for the US national team as well now. Columbus Crew, obviously the best team in the league. Well, ended up winning the cup last year, and will be a very good team again under Nancy this year. And I think he could lead the way, to be honest with you.
Excellent. Yeah, I think he's a really good player. I think one of our friends in our WhatsApp group, Bren, has just picked up Aidan Morris to be his linchpin midfielder for the MLS season. So
yeah.
I'm going back to the Atalanta United well, and I am going to pick Wiley, not the semi-relevant rapper, but Caleb Wiley, the attacking left back. I think, Caleb Wiley had a really good season to start with. There was a lot of talk about him last year, wasn't he? But he faded in and out. But hang on, just let me share. Not the famous singer, but...
Mate, you're on fire with dad jokes tonight. I'm proud of you.
Caleb Wiley, here's who I'm talking about. Under 21 hotshot. I like him because his price is really cheap as well. £4. I know everyone's cheap nowadays. But 0.014 is his floor at the moment. And I thought he was really good last year. Really attacking as well, which, you like to see from fullback. It does mean sometimes you get these terrible scores like 9, 10, 13. But he did show that he could put up those peaky ones as well. And there's been a lot of chatter about him in the preseason on from the American beat reporters that I've been reading and the preview shows that I've been looking at, that they think he'll kick on, get that left back spot nailed down. You're getting full 90 minutes from him. And in an Atlanta team that I think is going to do really well. An offensive fullback, U23 till 2029 as well. Cheap. Why don't I own one? Might buy one after this show. Boom.
That's the problem with doing these shows, isn't it? I end up wanting to buy everyone.
Yes. Buy players I'm going to mention in a minute as well. So let's move on to some stacking. Everyone loves a bit of stacking in this game, don't we? Defensive stacks that we like. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
So I'll stick with the one I was going to say, even though they scored one of the worst own goals I've ever seen last night in the whatever it is, the Mexico American Cup, whatever. I'm going to go for Philly Union. Andre Blake's a very good goalkeeper, despite what he did last night. Obviously, you've got Kai Wagner, who's probably the most elite defender in the MLS, I think.
So cheap, wasn't he, at the end of last season?
I know. Certainly in terms of price, I'm pretty sure he's the most valuable player on Sorare. Another player that probably is going to be his last year in the MLS. Very almost left, didn't he, this off-season to Europe, but I think he's going to do one more year. You've obviously got Glesnes, who's, not only is he good at scoring own goals from 40 yards, but he's actually a very good defender, quite a good attacking defender from corners as well. You've got Damien Lowe, someone I used to own, who's quite a peaky defender as well, but can get you big scores. Jack Elliott's pretty solid. Who's their right back? Oh, it's that guy there, Olivier Mbazu. I think he's going to be the right back potentially for the season. But yeah, I like Philly Union. They had a very good year the year before last, didn't they? Sort of didn't do as well last year, but I think they could have a little bit of a bounce back. I mean, they still finished fourth in the Eastern Conference last year, so it wasn't exactly bad. But yeah, I think they'll do well. Strong team. Yeah,
they have got some strong options. Strong team. Blake's a good goalie, obviously. I agree with you on Glesnes. Got Martinez that can sit in that hole as well. He's a really good player in MLS, but I don't think his scores always translate. But yeah, he's a really good player on there. Sticking point is getting Kai Wagner in, who's the GOAT, but he costs a lot of money in so rare terms nowadays. But I think Glesnes is quite a good price. So yeah, you're going for Philly Union. I would throw out. There's a couple I like. Portland. I know you've already mentioned them. And our boy Maximum Crappery. Can't go wrong with the single best goalkeeper on Sorare in your team. Crep. fantastic, great scorer, and got that Canadian spine with Kamal Miller in there now, coming over from Inter Miami. Mascara, I think, is going to be a really good fullback as well. So, I think there's plenty you can do in defensive stacks in Portland. Like you said, you picked them to do better this season. I think they'll do better as well. Certainly, I think they'll be a bit more solid. And then you do have defensive options if you want to mix them in as well. I think there's talk of them still using a DP spot on a striker. But yeah, from a defensive point of view, I like that Canadian spine in there. And I would also shout out Seattle as well, who I think could have a good season again. And you could like they have Andrade, don't they? Yamar Andrade. Regan's really good defender as well, and Fry's back in goal.
Yeah, Fry's a very solid goalkeeper. Yeah.
So I like them. So defensive stacks. That was Philly, Portland, Seattle. Offensive stacks we like. Got anything for me here?
I was just going to briefly mention Dallas. FC Dallas. So obviously I own a Jesus Ferreira, so I've followed them pretty intently over the last few years. Jesus Ferreira is an incredibly good player. Another player that got touted of potentially moving to Europe over the last sort of 6 months, but staying on. I kind of feel like they've always just been relying on him so much, but they have gone and bought Peter Musa from Benfica, who's someone that I've talked about before when he was at Benfica, thinking he might potentially be a next good Benfica striker. But yeah, they've splashed the cash in Dallas and got him in. I feel like Jesus Ferreira and Peter Musa combo is going to be very good this year. Musa is a very, good target man. Jesus Ferreira is good with a dead ball and has got a good eye for an assist. So yeah, I think they'll do well, those two, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think they're good.
I'm just annoyed at Peter Musa because he was cheap. I mean, actually, to be honest, he was probably more expensive than he's selling for now. But at the time I talked about a year ago, he was pretty good value, I thought.
Yeah, they got Illaramendi in there as well, haven't they? And Areola, is it Areola as well? They've got in there as well. So
yeah, they've got Areola. They've got
Areola, yeah,
another good player that's I think he tore his ACL, but he should be back in the sort of next couple of months. I think I've forgotten his name now.
Like a projected starting 11 there looks really tidy. They've got some quite high votes in where they'll finish as well. Kuminga, yeah, I think it's a good shout. There's plenty to like about Dallas.
Alan Velasco, there we go. That's the other guy that they've got. So a very good young player, but is coming off an ACL injury. So hopefully back in May by the looks of transfer market. So not too long to wait, but yeah, another good player that could come in and do well for them.
Excellent. So I would throw out your boys Columbus Crew.
Yeah, I didn't want to just completely say Columbus Crew for everything, so I decided to.
I'll do it for you. I didn't really want to pick him because you like him, and Swiss Mafia Jesse likes him as well. Like I usually rally around the things that you like, and it's kind of an expensive one to pick up. Obviously, we talked about Aidan Morris, great dark green across the board there, but yeah, 0.07 is kind of hefty in this day and age in so rare terms, and then Cucho is obviously very hefty in so rare terms alongside Diego Rossi. That's kind of the dream, isn't it? Rossi, Cucho and Aidan Morris. I think that's a great 3 offensive stack, but that's for rich people or people that have got a lot of Stark tokens to sell off.
Whilst we're there, Alex Matan is someone that is going for good value at the moment, I think. He's kind of like built from the same model as Zelarayan a little bit. He's centre mid there. He was rotated quite a lot with Christian Ramirez last year for sort of that third prong of the 3-prong attack that they tend to play. But yeah, pretty decent player. Is quite peaky, but can have solid AA. Got a few assists last year. Could be someone I could see having a good year.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And the other one I'd throw out there would be Seattle Sounders. I picked them for a defensive stack as well. I'd pick them for an offensive stack also, but maybe a bit more reasonably priced one. So, maybe you could just run full Seattle. Why not? Fuck it. Go all in. João Paulo's really good, isn't he? Incredible scores. really dark greens all over the place. A lot more reasonable price than some of the Columbus Crew ones we've just looked at. And then maybe you could chuck in a Rusnak as well.
I'm
L5 of
so ready. I'm so ready for a Rusnak revival. I just keep thinking I just see his scores from when he was at Real Salt Lake, and he was just insane. And he just never seemed to nail down that actual. He was starting for Seattle, but starting a lot deeper than he used to for Salt Lake. So I think, I'm just hoping they start playing him a bit further forward.
Yeah, just realised I wasn't sharing the right tab, so I was deeply looking through the Seattle roster without any of you. But yeah, and then you've got maybe a bit of Jordan Morris up front. Love a bit of Jordan Morris, right? Had him back in rare, one of my first purchases. Pissed off to Swansea for a bit, which was a bit weird, but
yeah, pissed off to Swansea, like tore his Achilles or something, didn't he? And then came back and
but yeah, in here, Morris, Rusnak, João Paulo, like it. A lot cheaper than doing it for the Columbus Crew, and I think they'll probably be all right as well this season. So,
I like that projected starting position for Rusnak there, just behind the striker. Yeah. It's a lot more. It makes his price look a lot nicer for a rare of 50 quid.
Yeah. All right, 3 more categories. Let's go for a bargain pickup. Got any bargains for me?
Yeah, if you want to pull it up on screen, because my screen doesn't seem to be working very well at the moment. So I've got 2 players here. I've gone for someone who is solid, if not unspectacular, maybe, I don't know, but Artur, Artur, ex-Columbus Crew, now plays for Houston. Ended the season last year as one of the hottest scorers on the platform. If you look at his last sort of 10 games on SO5 scores, okay, ignore those last couple there, but the last sort of 5-6 games of the season, he was on absolute fire. He was a mainstay of my team, doing really well. And for, I think he's 30 quid, 35 quid at the moment for rare, roughly. I think that's an absolute bargain. He's one of those players that I like because he's got a very solid AA game. Even when Houston aren't doing well, he's getting sort of 20 points added on top of his standard 35 and getting you a sort of 50 to 55 score just on a bad day. And he's sort of he's added a few goals at the end of last season. So he's someone that I can see doing well again for that value. Another player I've put in there is a bit of a high upside player is Bernardeschi. Obviously got that big move, didn't he, to Toronto along with what's his name?
How's he spell his name?
Bernard, and then ES.
There he is.
Yeah,
Bernardeschi.
Obviously got the move to Toronto with I can't remember his freaking name.
Insigne,
that's the one. Didn't really work out for them last year, did they? They were absolutely awful. I think Insigne fell out with the manager potentially. Bernardeschi's kind of wanted to potentially leave, but I think it's now been announced that he is staying for another year. And if you just look at how high his upside could be, for £35 for a rare, I do think you could make a bit of money there. You're just relying on Toronto not being wank again, though. That's the issue. But they do have some good players there. Just maybe things will click this year for them. But yeah, he's someone that, he's also someone that, for me, stinks of potentially going to Saudi. So there is a risk of that, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, it's right, isn't it? It's just, can it follow through? I mean, looks like the predictions are pretty bad for Toronto this year.
Yeah, it's a tough one. But then, if you think of they've got Insigne and Bernardeschi in their team, like they should be doing a lot better. So you never know. Maybe they'll surprise a few people this season.
What does Insigne cost nowadays? The one that really surprised me today is I saw Ciro Immobile.
I saw that as well. The Immobile and Luis Alberto purchased for like 60 quid or something.
Yeah, there's a few people mentioning Ciro. Insigne is a great card, isn't it? But I'm not sure he's really asked.
Yeah. He's not that old, is he? I mean, he's still kind of holding quite a lot of value there, isn't he? In terms of rare. For 120 quid, I feel like you could get quite a lot more than him. Immobile will forever be one of my worst limited purchases of all time. I think I bought his limited card for, it was ETH already had, but I think it was like £250.
We need to do a terrible purchase show soon
Oh
because
my God.
I've started trying to sell mine off now, so I don't have to look at them anymore. But yeah, there's some bad ones. But sticking to the MLS for now, I'm going for Joan Mosquera as my budget pickup. Bargain pickup, we called them, didn't we? Bargain pickup. I think Portland Timbers will do better this year. I think defensively they'll do better. Maybe this is because I'm a massive Crep fan that I can't get past him keeping 58 clean sheets this season. But yeah, Joan Mosquera, under 23 till 2027, really cheap, 18 quid. Last purchase was by me earlier today for 0.0071. I think one of our friends was talking about the MLS and trying to, who should I buy, what defender should I get? And we probably read the same article, I think, which said Joan Mosquera is going to be amazing. And I looked into him. Yeah, I think he could be a really marauding, attacking, pacey fullback for Portland. I think he's going to have that fullback spot nailed down. And I think he's got a very high upside for his price. Obviously, pretty basic scores last year. But I've got high hopes for him this season, and at 18 quid for a rare, I think, that upside can be pretty high.
I like it. I'm also trying to buy one at the moment. So if you're watching this right now, please don't buy the cheapest one because I'm going to try and get that. But yeah, I think he's a good player. Kind of like we've talked about it before, but kind of like a bit Castro Montesi, has that potential to get you those big scores, which can win you big prizes. So,
yeah. All right, 2 categories to go. Let's go for top goal scorer.
So, top goal scorer, someone I was going to mention. Sorry, I'm just plugging my laptop in. Bear with me.
Bear with us, caller.
Top goal scorer, someone I was going to say for MVP, but I'm going to say it for top goal scorer instead. I'm going to go for Cucho Hernandez. I just feel like having a full season with Diego Rossi laying him up all year. I think he had a little bit of an injury last year, so he missed a few games. He's an extremely good player. Talked about him before. I thought he was really good when he was playing for Watford. I was very surprised to see him jump over to Columbus Crew, to be honest with you. I mean, look at those bloody scores. He's a joke. But yeah, I think Columbus Crew, I can't see them letting up. I think they're going to be a very, very good team again this season. He's going to be their main man. He's going to take all their penalties, probably free kicks as well. Yeah, top goal scorer for me.
Yeah, I mean, he's fucking good. So,
pardon me.
Yeah, can't argue with your logic there. You might think I'll go for GG after our talk earlier on, but I don't like to repeat myself in categories. So I mixed it up. I talked about how I thought Orlando could go all the way, or at least put a really strong showing in Sportship and MLS. So I'm going to go with the leaning line for them in Luis Muriel. Big name signing. Obviously, he's got that European credentials from Atalanta. Finished the season quite poorly for them. Wanted a fresh challenge. Has gone over to Orlando. Didn't go well from the season, but his quality should shine through in Orlando. Reasonable price when compared to, say, Chucho. So, obviously, got the bit of unknown because he's joining a new league. He's not done it there before. So,
do you remember when I told you all about Luis Muriel and I bought absolutely crap loads of shares of him from Lindex?
Yeah.
Back in the day. He was one of my darlings. Yeah, good player. I think he'll do well. But there is always that risk, isn't there? Like sometimes I'm like, will they just completely dud out in MLS or will they just rip it up? I don't know. It's a tough one to call. But Orlando are a good team, right? So you'd like to think he's going to do well for him.
Yeah, I think that's quite a nice team in there now. They've got Brekalo in at the back. I think it's decent. I could see them doing something. But yeah, I'm going to switch up for him. I wouldn't be surprised if it's GG as well, but I'm going to go with Muriel. And that leaves us one more category, a hot take for the season. One hot take for the season.
So my hot take is I don't think LAFC are going to be very good. I've obviously talked about LA Galaxy being crap as well, but I just feel like they've got rid of the best goalkeeper that's ever graced the MLS.
Agreed.
They've got in Hugo Lloris, who, for my money, has been one of the most overrated goalkeepers for the last decade.
Also agreed.
So I don't think he's going to do particularly well. Maybe he'll. I mean, he was France's number one for the World Cup, so maybe he is quite good. But yeah, Bouanga wanted to leave, hasn't left, but is he going to be the same guy this year? He's probably going to be a little bit pissy that he's still there. Wanted to go back to Europe, didn't he? You've got Carlos Veyes left, hasn't he? I think. Has he left? I think he left.
Still there, isn't he?
Is he still there?
Anyway.
Well, there's a bit of a change in the guard going on at AFC. I just feel like there might be a bit of trouble in camp. Obviously, they lost the final last year, so they're going to be reeling from that probably a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to put them mid. I think I'll go mid to lower in the Eastern Conference.
Carlos Vela remains out of contract, free agent. Will the club captain an inaugural signing re-up, whether it's a DP deal or not? So still up in the air, I think.
There's a lot up in the air at LAFC. I just feel like they're in a bit of a transition period.
All right, fair. My hot take is going to be Inter Miami finish outside the top 6 in the East. I think it's a conference, much tougher than the West. I think they're going to focus on that CONCACAF Champions League and repeating, their League's Cup triumph, going back to back. They've got a very thin squad. It's been talked about a lot. There isn't a lot of depth there. So I can see them, spread very thin in the first half of the season and maybe scraping into those, 9 places because of their lack of depth. I could see them, like meandering through the season, getting in the bottom end of the playoffs. Not saying they're not going to finish strong once they've got the other competitions out of the way, that, they really ramp up through the league and, head off into the playoffs strong, and then they could go all the way through. Who knows? But I think their league, their overall league season could be fairly disappointing, and I think they could be bottom end of the playoffs. That's my hot take, slagging off Messi because I'm a Ronaldo boy at heart.
I'm not sure.
Not so sure.
It's very hot. It's a very hot take, but that's what this segment's about, right? I mean, I disagree with it, but it will certainly make for an interesting season if they struggle like mad.
All right, so that was the MLS preview prediction brought to you by Sorare Thursday Club. We have to move on to the Premier League preview, but I think there might be something to drop in beforehand. That's right, baby. We're back.
Yeah, is this the
right,
Keeper
drop me
Club?
some stacks.
I hope this is Keeper Club. Someone else.
Here we go.
Wow. Oh my God, did 2 more join? I didn't see there was another one join.
That's right, baby. The Keepers Club has got 2 new entrants. The class of 2024 has got some company. Jonas Urbig, you have some friends to dance the night away with, my boy. Svilla and Lunin take a bow. Bottle service all night for you guys. The club still looking very young, isn't it? We look very out of place in there with all these young lads having a good night. But Keepers Club 2024 has 3 members.
We need to get some stripper poles in there. I think it's looking like a dick fest at the moment.
They're very young, though, aren't they? They're very young.
That's true. This reminded me of Oceana Wednesdays a little bit on the disco room.
We had Sevilla, if that's how you say his name, in game week 451, and in 450, Lenin. We wondered whether we get anyone in this club this year, and we have 2 more. Sevilla putting up 100 with a 42 AA against Frosinone. Well, that's a bad pronunciation coming everywhere from me. But Roma, 3-0 post Mourinho, chucking in 100. Congratulations, young man. And Lunin threw in, you pointed this out to me the other day on Twitter, against Leipzig. 1-0 shutout. Also scraping over that 100 with an over 40 AA game. So
I love it. I love to see a keep 100. I completely missed this Sevilla one. I didn't see that happen, but yeah, saw the Lunin one come in, and I was like, I know what that means. Happy days. Up the ton, Klub.
Yeah, 3 new members. There you go, guys. More sat for the way out. My boys, the goalkeepers. Congratulations, guys. You know I love to see it.
Made even better by the fact your movement is like a robot right now because your signal. So it's made so much better.
There we go. Let's go on to the Premier League preview, then we can get out of here. I'm going to note them down this time. You know, a lot of trash talk going on between us. So let's actually see who knows the most. Premier League preview, talk through our fancies. So you got on top. Aston Villa Forest is first up. No Friday night games.
Do you not own a single Aston Villa or Nottingham Forest player?
I do not. No.
That's a shocker. I mean, what do you think about this? I mean, to me, it's just an easy home win, but yeah, I mean, Forest are fighting for their lives a little bit at the bottom. Desperate for wins. Villa have had a slight dodgy patch in there. I think they lost 3 games in a week, including the League Cup or FA Cup even. What did they do in the last game? Can't remember now. I mean, can't see anything but a Villa win there. I'm going to go for a 2-1. Elanga's looking good for Forest, though.
Elanga's looking good for
Forest. United made a bit of a boo-boo getting rid of him, I think. Got rid of Elanga for how much? 10 mil or whatever, and then got Anthony, who's fucking woeful, for like 100 mil. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's a sore subject. You'd like to think Villa's home form will probably be enough to see him through here. Hudson-Odoi's been looking all right as well. I'm basing that on my Ultimate Champions team, and he seems to put up a decent score for me recently. So, yeah, there's a bit of fight about the Forest team.
I think Forest have got enough attacking power to be okay. They're really, really bad at the back. But they've got enough up there with Elanga, Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi, Awoniyi. I think that's a pretty strong front four there.
Yeah, they're on a goalkeeper about number 715 for the season. So
yeah,
I'll have to see if that one works out for them. I probably would have gone the same score as you, but as it's... I kind of fancy Forest to get something, you know.
Oh.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Okay, that's also plausible. That's plausible. Villa are sort of floundering a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah, let's go for next up, which is your boys Everton away to Brighton.
I mean, I have fond memories of this fixture from last year. We won 5-1, I think it was. Was it 4-1? I can't remember, but it was insane. Yeah, Brighton are a strange team. Obviously, you know, they've just come off the back of... Who did they dick? God, well, my memory is awful at the moment. 5-0. They beat Sheffield United 5-0 last weekend, which isn't that hard. I saw Mason Holgate had a great game. Took out Mitsoma's kneecap for a red card. But yeah, I do think we'll get something. We've looked a lot better away from home than at home this season. The way Brighton set up to play will suit us a little bit on the counter-attack. Obviously, the mentality in terms of the last time we were there, we had our best result of the last 5 years, and that was basically that entire team there. So you'd like to think they're going to have happy memories of the Amex. Dare I go for an Everton win? I might go for a 2-1 away win for the
2-1.
I mean, we looked awful against Crystal Palace at home the day before yesterday. But
yeah, I'm not sure unless Tarkowski scores where I see you getting any goals from.
Decore's back now. That's big for us. He's our top goal scorer this year. He completely changes the way we play.
Do you think Onana will be back in?
Yeah, I'm yet to do my predictions. There are actually quite a few things that I could see happening. Ashley Young looked absolutely horrific on Monday. Like, looked like he was running in mud the entire time he was on the pitch. Kept giving the ball away. So I can see Harrison coming back in. Onana I can see coming in, but it's difficult because James Garner you can't drop. Idrissa Gueye's done really well since coming back from AFCON. Decore has to start if he's playing, if he's fit. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to call. We actually have some options, which is strange.
Yeah, I mean, I want Onana to come back in because I've got his red, but Brighton have been a bit hit and miss, a bit all over the place. You know, I haven't actually had that great a record over the medium term, but I'm going to pick them to win anyway, just to see the misery on your face. Gross has been insane to watch, and in terms of Sorare as well, I've got his special edition limited card, and it's been an incredible one to have. I'm going to go 3-0 Brighton.
Go fuck yourself, mate.
3-0 Brighton. Palace Burnley. Palace Burnley. There's one for you.
Palace will have the first official game of their new manager, right? I know he was in the stadium for the game on Monday against Everton, but wasn't on the sideline. You know, I think Burnley are gone now, right? They had a very small little uptick in results. I think they beat Sheffield United and then someone else in a week. But since then, it's just been woeful, isn't it? They're just not. They're not looking good. They're like 7 points behind us. And we've had a 10 point.
Really crap, yeah.
They're really crap. Luton seem to be the only team down there that, look like they've got some hope of staying up potentially. It's a tough one to call because both teams are doing so bad at the moment. Palace are obviously they're going to still be missing Eze and
Elise.
I think by the looks of it there, Mark Gahey, I thought he was still going to be injured, but he's got a chance of playing. He'd make a difference to them. I scored an absolute worldie against us. Daniel Munoz, I watched him. Obviously, I've owned him on Sorare for a long time, so it's strange to see him playing against Everton. But yeah, I think Palace are probably going to be too strong for them, despite missing a couple of key players. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 scrappy home win.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Palace. Will they get a new manager bounce? Maybe. Change the goalie. The defenders, the centre-backs who are usually really good, Sorare-wise, haven't been that great. Mateta's just a big unit up top. Ayew seems to be their spark, which, I think says a lot about the team. Burnley are obviously committed to playing the same way. Whatever happens, I think I could see Burnley getting a 2-1 away win here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm going to go Burnley. Next up, United Fulham.
I'll let you take the lead here, Mr. United.
United's created lots of chances against Luton. Seems to just continually go around the goalie and then not actually finish the chance. Problem with United is they can't control a single game. Even against Luton, went 2-0 up, could not control a game, give the other team more possession. Just cannot control a game, can't keep possession, can't kill a side off. So every team is always in the game against United, it seems. Højlund's starting to look like an absolute A-star striker, even though he doesn't get, the best service. But yeah, he's been very impressive. The defensive injuries starting to creep back in. Shaw went off again. You've lost Martinez already. So yeah, that's a bit concerning. Casemiro seems to just get booked and then chase people around for a game.
Did you see that funny stat on Twitter today? I don't know if you saw it. It was Rodri could give the ball away for his next 200 passes and he'd still have a better pass percentage than Casemiro for Man United.
Yeah.
Casemiro looks gone, doesn't he? His legs just look completely done. Yeah, and like you said, United just don't seem to have that control of any game at the moment. They're very much getting more and more set up to counter-attack with Garnacho and Rashford. Højlund's looking good. I think thank God Højlund's come good for you the last 6 weeks because
Garnacho and Højlund are the bright sparks.
I noticed Luke Shaw's down to start there, but he's definitely out. Isn't he potentially out for the rest of the season?
I'm not sure how bad it was, but I'm not sure I expect him to be in the team. I'm going to go 2-1 United home win. Fulham always gives us a bit of trouble, but we are at home. I just bought a Broyo card, so I'd like him to start Fulham, actually, please.
I can see Fulham getting something, a sneaky little point, maybe. That's bloody cough. I'm going to go for a 1-1.
1-1. Okay. Next up, Bournemouth, Man City in the late game.
Man City are quite good. I'm going to say that Man City are going to win that. Bournemouth play quite open as well. I kind of feel like if Bournemouth were going into this game being Bournemouth from about 3-4 years ago, they'd probably stand a bit more of a chance.
Wait, you're not going to pick Bournemouth to do Man City, mate? Where's your balls?
Well, I don't have a Bournemouth stat like you, mate. I'm not interested in them whatsoever. Yeah, I think Man City are going to dick him, to be honest with you. 4-1. Bournemouth are quite good, actually, and maybe that's doing them a bit of a disservice, but they do play very open football, and Man City, I think, will thrive on that.
It's Champions. When's the Champions League next games? Is that next midweek?
It's next midweek for Man City. I think it's got to the point now where they alternate weeks, don't they? I think
maybe a bit of rotation. They haven't looked that great against Chelsea. Didn't look that great trying to break Brentford down last night. Sorry. I'm still going to pick them to win though, but maybe not score 4 goals. So I'm going to go 2-0 Man City. But
Nathan Ake revenge game.
Yeah, I'm not sure it'll be overly. I don't think there'll be total domination, but I can't pick Bournemouth in a competition. Just can't do it. Arsenal, Newcastle.
Should be a tough game, actually. Arsenal just got beat, didn't they, tonight? 1-0 by Porto. Bit of a stumbling block for them. So, maybe there'll be a bit of a bounce back from that. Not sure. But obviously straight from a 5-0 drubbing of Burnley, aren't they, Arsenal? Newcastle. What did Newcastle do? Newcastle drew, didn't they, with Bournemouth? Yeah, I feel like Arsenal seem to have that edge to them this season a little bit. Like when they're not playing well, they seem to be winning. They've obviously won some big games against Liverpool. Did they beat Man City as well? It's going to be a tough game. You think there's going to be goals in this game. I could see it being something a little bit mental, like 4-2 to Arsenal, something like that. Yeah, bugger it. I'll just go 4-2 Arsenal. Now I've said it. I'll be annoyed if it's 4-2 and I didn't say it.
It's a lot of AAA and AA's here. A lot of green for Arsenal players when they're at home. Like Saka's been on fire. Rice, just keeps pumping out those semi-decent scores. Yeah, they're a hot property at home. But Newcastle have picked back up after they seemed to have that injury crisis and seem like they were all over the place. I'm not sure which of their players I'd actually want to start. I'd probably play Ant Gordon because he's got that creative spark. I'm going to go for Desmond because I really don't want Arsenal to win. I'm going to try and manifest it into happening by not picking them in this. Let's move to Sunday. There's only one game on Sunday, so we are 2 games away from being done. It is Wolves Sheffield United.
10-0. Sheffield United is so bad. Honestly, what's the lowest points total? They've already beaten that, haven't they, actually, I think.
Yeah, it was 11, wasn't it?
They're really bad. And also, it could become an absolute, one of the best transfers in Everton's history to give Mason Holgate to Sheffield United. for the remainder of the season. Like, he's so bad.
Instantly sent off. Yeah.
Anyway, Wolves are a very good team. Wolves, the more the season goes along, the more I really like him. Gary O'Neill, I'm telling you, he's so underrated. Maybe he's rated now. Maybe he's gone past the underrated stage. Wolves got a fantastic 2-1 away win at Spurs, didn't they? I don't know if you watched. Well, I watched the highlights, but he seems to have got them playing really good football. The fans love Gary O'Neill. The players seem to love him. They've got a really good young squad. I think there's quite a lot of rumours they're going to have to sell Pedro Neto to meet FFP at the end of the year, but he's still playing really well for them. Doing good. Hwangi Chan's doing well. Yeah, I mean, I could see this being another 5-0 drubbing, to be honest with you.
Like 5-0.
Yeah, Sheffield United are woeful.
Yep. Okay, I agree with you, but I mean they're great from us. You know, I know Cunha's probably not a player who's injured with me, but he's been great. Pedro Neto's really took off. Really glad I'm sold his rare. Exciting. Gary Neal's on the radio this morning talking a lot of sense. Yeah, I think they've done really well.
Sheffield United, sorry to interrupt. Sheffield United have conceded 65 goals this season in 25 games. That is only just under 3 per game. Like, they're not a good football team. Sorry to any Sheffield United fans out there. But yeah, you're going to get it.
They are mismatched in this league. But considering Wolves started the season really badly, didn't they? Their first 5 games, they lost like 4 or something. With Gary O'Neill came in late on. He's really turned it around. I'm going to go 3-1. 3-1.
Wolves are 3 points below Brighton. And you think about how Brighton are talked about as a good team. I know Brighton have had a few dodgy patches, but yeah, 3 points behind Brighton is it's pretty strong. They're 2 points behind Newcastle, Wolves. But yeah. Last
one, West Ham Brentford.
Well, West Ham seem to be in free fall, don't they? I think it was one of the predictions I made last week was West Ham will get absolutely dicked by Arsenal and then they'll be calling for David Moyes' heads. And actually, that was one of my rare correct predictions because they did get absolutely dicked. I think it was at 6-0.
Yeah,
and that was after about an hour, 6-0 as well, I swear. But I still think it's a bit of a strange one. Poor Moisey, I think he's doing as well as he could be doing with West Ham. The football is a little bit turgid, and obviously I'm not on the West Ham Twitter. I don't see what it's like. If someone said that to me when Everton were playing under Sam Allardyce, going, I don't know what people don't like with Sam Allardyce, and I'll be like, well, you don't fucking understand it. So maybe it is bad with Moyes. I don't know, but they've won a European competition. They're still in 9th, top 10 team.
Yeah. Still in Europe. Won a European trophy last year in 9th.
It seems. I guess maybe they've kind of got to that weird point where they're making some good signings, but maybe Moyes isn't that manager to sort of get them playing better football to suit those signings. Like, he's a bit too old school in the way that he wants to play. He just wants to knock it up long to bloody Souček. I can see Brentford winning this game and sort of putting the nail in the coffin, to be honest with you. Tony's looked back to his normal self, isn't he? As soon as he's come back, he's firing them in. I could see this being 2-0 to Brentford.
2-0 to Brentford.
Yeah.
I like the look of that Ward-Prowse, Bowen, Kudos triangle up there. I'm going to go for a West Ham bounce back on the fact that Brentford played midweek. I'm going to have tired legs from chasing around Man City, and West Ham at home. I'm going to go 2-1 to the Hammers to turn it around after getting Dickens by United and Arsenal. So yeah, there we go. Premier League preview done and dusted. As per usual, we've managed to keep the podcast down to a slim time setting. Never quite got the hang of time control, have we, on this? I
don't usually last 90 minutes, so I'm pretty happy to get it in on the show.
Not for many years. So we will end it there. We've gone very long. If you're still listening, thank you very much. Thank you for joining, everyone. May the decisives be with you this weekend. If you could please like and subscribe and all that vibe on your way out, it will be much appreciated and make us feel all warm and fuzzy inside. But until next time, Viva la Thursday Club.
Up the Toffees. Give us our 10 points back.